to crack open the sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Sports page brought to you this morning by Kaufman and Lynn Injury Attorneys. Bulldog, the irony that a conference, a Power 5 conference that is being dissolved at the end of the season now is represented in the national championship game next Monday.
Yeah, how about the Washington Huskies last night? By the way, two great games last night in the college football playoff. Washington, Pac-12 essentially being dissolved after this season. Washington beats Texas 37-31 in the Sugar Bowl last night. Michael Penix, what a performance by Washington's quarterback. 430 yards, 2 touchdowns. Washington holds off Texas at the end of the game. Texas had 4 shots with like 15 seconds left to try to win the game. Couldn't do it. Texas's quarterback Quinn Ewer could not get the ball into the end zone. Washington ends up winning the game. Now that's a team you can root for. Washington. Again, Michael Penix overcame so much. Started out at Indiana, had 2 serious knee injuries at Indiana, transfers to Washington, runner-up for the Heisman Trophy, and boom, last night leads Washington into the national championship game. The other game last night, the cheating Michigan Wolverines, they end up beating Alabama 27-20 at the end of the game. It was an overtime game. Blake Corum, 17-yard touchdown on the second snap of overtime. And then I don't know what Alabama was doing on their overtime possession. They got down to the 2-yard line. They had 1 play left, and they ran their quarterback, Jalen Milroe, right into the teeth of Michigan's defense on a 4th and 2. A low snap. Alabama can't find a snapper to hike the ball. They had like so many bad snaps during that game.
Pat and I were talking earlier. They lost because of mistakes.
There were special teams screw-ups. Michigan, big time on that it didn't cost them. They're lucky. But
and I hate that Michigan's in the national title game. I just hate it. Yeah, and they'll probably win it, too. Because, it disgusts me what's going on in college sports, especially with all the opt-outs in the bowl games. I mean, we saw what happened in the FSU Georgia game. 63-3. Does it bother you guys that you have all these opt-outs? All right, I understand, opting out because you want to get ready for the NFL. I understand that. But do you really need these guys on the sideline during the game?
With their big gold chains and everything.
I read your piece, and I agree with you, Dog. If there's any consolation here, at least next year, there's 12 teams that'll still have a shot at things, and there won't be so many games that are flat out inconsequential.
Yeah. So, bowl, the bowl attendance. I mean, I was at the Citrus Bowl yesterday, Tennessee, Iowa, which is a good matchup. By the way, Iowa's offense is absolutely incompetent. Bowl game attendance all over is terrible. The Outback Bowl, which is no longer called the Outback Bowl, I don't remember the name of it. They had like 30,000 fans there. The Citrus Bowl had 43,000. That was the second lowest attendance since they expanded the stadium back in 1980. So, nobody's interested in these bowl games because the players aren't interested in these bowl games.
I talked to a buddy before any of the bowl games were really kicking off or just starting to, and he goes, "Hey, you going down Saturday for the game?" I go, "Nah, so I got to be honest with you. Since NIL and the transfer portal, I'm kind of losing interest." He goes, "Amen to that." It's just, it sucks.
Those games outside of the playoff games really are just glorified additional spring games at this point, Bulldog.
Yeah, they are, but you know what? The reason they play them is they still get high ratings on ESPN. I saw the ratings for the Orange Bowl, 63-3. More than 10 million viewers watched that game between Georgia and Florida State. Even like the Gasparilla Bowl with UCF, it gets like 1.5 million viewers. These bowl games, people still watch them on TV. They're not going to them, but I guess during the holidays they'll flip on the bowl game and watch it. So they're still being watched, which is the only reason they still have so many bowl games, because ESPN needs programming. Yeah. By the way, speaking of the Sugar Bowl last night, did you see ESPN showed Bourbon Street at one point, and then little did they know that there was a woman flashing her boobs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2024.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So anyway, other bowl games, we talked about those yesterday. Some big college football news yesterday for UCF. They landed Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson out of the transfer portal. This guy's good, man. He just ran over Florida this year in the swamp. 6'3", 245. He's going to be UCF starting quarterback next year. Played 5 years at Arkansas. Now he's coming to UCF. Of course, Gus Malzahn, UCF's coach, has some Arkansas roots from Arkansas. So FSU also landed a quarterback out of the transfer portal yesterday. DJ Uiagalelei, the former Clemson quarterback who transferred to Oregon State. Now he's transferring to Florida State. So Florida State fans are going to have to root for a quarterback who they hated a couple of years ago when he played for Clemson.
Right.
And that is the state of college football. What else we got?
The UFL, dog. The UFL.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we didn't even make the cut. You talking about the XFL UFL merger?
No, the USFL XFL merger, which is now the UFL, the United Football League.
Yeah, but Orlando didn't even make the cut. We don't even get a franchise now.
Well, after last
Memphis
year's performance, I mean.
Memphis, yeah. Thank you, Terrell Buckley and the Guardians for their 1-9 season last year.
Right.
We got cut out.
That was easy decision.
Of the new UFL. Right. By the way, Lynch, you need to disavow yourself of the Dolphins again, because since you've jumped on board, since you've jumped back on board with your new favorite team, your old new favorite team, they look terrible. What the hell happened Sunday? 56-19. They lose to the Ravens.
Why is Bradley Chubb in the game at the end when they're getting their asses?
3 minutes left in the game. They're down by 30, and he's in the game.
Why?
Yeah.
Now
Mike
gone.
McDaniel, boy wonder. That was more like boy blunder.
I'll be
having that guy in the game.
Curious to see
that out for the year.
This week's episode of Hard Knocks going to be a rough one.
Yeah, it is.
I'll tell you what. The Dolphins obviously had a chance to clinch the division, clinch home field advantage in the playoffs. They didn't get that done. Now they have to beat Buffalo this week to even win their division. I don't think they're going to beat Buffalo. Not the way. Raheem Mostert didn't play. Jalen Waddle didn't play the other night. Bradley Chubb's now out for the season. Dolphins are banged up. They're going nowhere in the playoffs. I hate to say it.
2 years in a row.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike the Bull.
Bucks stunk it up against the Saints, by the way. Bucks, Jags, and Dolphins must win this week to win their divisions. So that's the state of NFL in Florida.
Mike the Bulldog Bianchi from AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game, sports columnist for the Orlando Sentinel.
Hey, listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday morning, 7:30 at FM 96.9 The Game. Catch an extended version of Under Oath by searching Under Oath with Jeff Kaufman on your favorite streaming platform.
Taco on demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.